everyone, it's Jennifer with DP Addiction Adventures, and I am coming to you on Saturday, April 13th, right? If I get it wrong, I'm sorry, it's Saturday. So yeah, I did a drill with me last week, but it was like 2 o'clock in the morning when I did it, and when I was listening back to it, it literally sounded like I was drunk. So even though I wasn't, I was just exhausted. So I thought I would delete that one and do another one. And that one was just a tag I was doing. I just thought because everybody was asleep and I thought I was wide awake that I would try to do it. And it obviously failed, which is why this week you got short little videos. So today I'll try to crank out a few. I am suffering a little bit with a migraine. I shouldn't say a little bit, a lot. So, sorry, I had popcorn in my teeth. So if I do mix up words, just laugh. I'm sure it'll be fun. But yeah. So this, what I'm working on right now is called When September Ends, and it's a dreamer design. I'm really enjoying how it's coming out, but I am having a lot of troubles with reading the symbols. Even with glasses, I can't use the light pad because of the type of canvas it is. It reflects or refracts, and so it makes the symbols look worse. And but the design itself, at least this design, which I purposely picked because I thought it would come out, is coming out nicely. So I am going to push through it. I do know that they're working hard to remedy some of this, and I hope to be able to ask them on behalf of our community if one of the things they're going to do with Dreamer Design 2.0 canvases is a symbol clarification. So we will see what happens. I will keep you posted, but that is not what this video is about. So I was thinking a lot about the last couple weeks of my life and the stress that I have been under. I have a anxiety, I don't want to call it a disorder. I need help with my anxiety. If I'm not on my low dose of anxiety medication, I get very angry and frustrated and upset at the drop of a hat. There's just nothing I can do about it. And I think I've had this most of my life, but after I got married, some things happened and I needed to go on an antidepressant, which had benefits of an anti-anxiety med. And when I went to go off of it, it was night and day. It was like I couldn't go off of it. Let me just pause here for a second. I think I want to do 725. And so that's when my doctor realized that I had low serotonin levels in my brain. And so with the stress of my job, the stress of my marriage, some of the things I was dealing with, I would use the serotonin up in my mind, in my body, and my brain wouldn't make more, and that's what would lead to the anxiety issues. So it's a chemical imbalance, basically. Now, serotonin in simplest terms is a happy juice. So your body creates serotonin at a certain level, and then it uses it up and creates it more. So that's why if you exercise or if you do something that helps you feel better, it's creating more serotonin in your system, which then kind of gives you a natural happy drug feeling, you know. It's not as happy drug as oxytocin, that's a medication. I forget what it's called, oxy something. Like I said, my brain is not working well today. So I probably shouldn't be talking all scientific like. But anyway, that chemical, which is the feel-good chemical, the love chemical, is a higher level of euphoria when you have it. It's what, so serotonin's like the next level down, your day-to-day, what keeps you going, what keeps your stress from overwhelming you, right? So I was thinking, and a lot of times I talk to my clients about this, because when you have unending trauma, your brain permanently is damaged in its serotonin releases. And so there's other ways that you have to remedy that to be able to help yourself once the crisis is averted or the stress is gone. Because what happens is even really small stresses take up. So let me back up. So let's say you have a stress of a car accident, okay? Now, I know a lot of that has to do with adrenaline and everything, so this is just an example, okay? So that stress of going through like life or death, going through if you have to go to the hospital, going through if anyone was injured, and even after the fact, dealing with insurances and getting your car fixed, and just like the stress of trying to get to and from work without a car, all of that might rate a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10 with how you handle stress. Okay, so then once that stress is gone, your body goes back to normal, and then let's say you are running late for work and that stress is a 1 or a 2, your body adapts and releases what it needs to release, and you're on your way. Well, that's how our bodies were made. Now, again, this is all really simple way of explaining it. Now, if we end up having extreme stress for long periods of time, for instance, dealing with cancer or, constant financial problems, or a horrible marriage or abuse, death of a child, something like that, then those stresses, okay, are anywhere from a 7 to a 10, depending on how you feel about it. But you're doing it long term, so your body adapts and says that level of stress is the new normal. It's no longer the out of, abnormal. So then you automatically are late for work, and instead of releasing serotonin at a level 2, it now releases the serotonin at a level 7. And so then you're using up more of what your brain has produced more quickly. Does that make sense? Kind of like when Diamond Art Club right now is releasing their newest designs, and our money goes much more quickly, then there's not any money left for the next round or something like that, okay? So that's what was happening to me, is I had been under so much stress for so long that anytime something even remotely happened, like getting every single red light on the way home, or like the potato incident that we talked about, that was really funny, but I wasn't on my anxiety medication, and so just the fact that the potato was made wrong elevated me to a 10 all of a sudden, where it shouldn't have been a 10. So that I deal a lot with my clients, but I also deal a lot with myself. And right now, I haven't talked about it, in detail, but right now, I'm experiencing a lot of stress. There's a lot of really hard stuff going on right now, and it's a normal person, I think, would buckle under what I'm experiencing, but because I've had so many things in my life go wrong, I'm kind of just used to it, and so I'm trying to work through it. And so yeah, the reason I'm saying all this, I know it might sound like I'm talking in circles, is I wanted to help you guys. Like, I wanted to talk about a way to calm yourself down. And this can be little stresses, big stresses. So I wanted to kind of have a little drill with me therapy chat. So now that I've given you the background of how the brain kind of works, now let's settle ourselves down. So one way to settle ourselves down is to, and a lot of you do this naturally, and a lot of you do this through like yoga and different things like that, but hopefully this will connect the dots as to why it works, and then it'll empower you to be able to use it even more. So yeah, okay, so you're super stressed, you either might have a panic attack, you might be receiving headaches or migraines, maybe you can't think straight, maybe you get angry easily, maybe you want to cry all the time, maybe you want to be quiet, you're not yourself or social anymore, whatever it may be. There's something called the 10-second breath, okay? And basically it's deep breathing, but I'm going to explain why it works and how to do it. A lot of my clients, this is the very first thing I teach them, because the next time they come, their eyes are huge and they're smiling and they're like, oh my gosh, I actually was able to sleep after my nightmare, or I was able to, handle the situation with the benefit people when I was working on my food stamps or something like that. Okay, so the first thing that you do is you breathe in slow enough to count to 4. So, and then you hold it for a second or two, and then you breathe out slow enough to the count of 4. Now, I will get to after this, but if you can't do it because you're in the middle of a panic attack, start with count of 2 or start with count of 3 and work your way up to a count of 4. So basically what you're doing is you're grounding yourself, because number 1, you're bringing in air, you're thinking about the air coming into your lungs, you're feeling cool air enter a warm body, you are thinking about numbers because you're counting, and you can't concentrate on more than one thing at a time. There actually is no such thing as multitasking. There's been articles written on it. Your brain can only do one thing at a time, but it does it so quickly it feels like you're multitasking. So that's why sometimes when we're stressed, when we're trying to do 2 things at once, we forget what the second thing is, or we're reading something and we can't hear the person talking, or we're cooking and we have to stop mid-cook and listen to our kids, or we have to say, whoa, what, wait. Maybe we're typing an email and we're trying to listen at the same time. Our brain is going back and forth. So we might type the word or the number A for and instantly hear one word that someone is saying. And then we go back to in the word and then we hear the next word. And then we go and our brain can work so fast that it's going from email to human, email to human, email to human at like microseconds, and so it feels like multitasking. So if you take that concept into I'm panicked, I'm in crisis mode, I'm angry, I'm crying, I can't breathe, or I don't know what to do and I'm spinning out of control. If we take our brain and we focus on the numbers of counting to 4 at the same time of breathing in, we are allowing our brain to not focus on the crisis but focus on ourselves and calm ourselves down. And so that's why it works. Another thing too is you're changing your focus, so you're distracting yourself. So number one, you're grounding yourself through, sight if you're using your fingers to count, or mental sound if you're counting in your head, or smell of air when you're breathing in, or the feel of cool, so touch, the feel of cool versus warm air coming in. So you're grounding yourself through your 5 senses. Number 2, you're changing your focus and allowing yourself to calm down. Number 3, by filling your lungs, you're allowing oxygen to stay in your lungs longer so that your red blood cells can pick up the oxygen and carry it to your brain. So that way your brain actually is going to have more clarity of thought. It's going to feel a little bit more awake. It's not going to feel as fuzzy. It's going to start working how it was intended to work, if that makes any sense. So this is the first thing that I do. Now, if you do this for 2 to 5 minutes, you actually calm your heart rate down. You fill your blood with oxygen. You allow further clarity of thought. And you allow the crisis hormones and chemicals that are being released in your brain to calm down, so that you're no longer in crisis mode, which allows you to think through things more strategically. So if you're waking up from a nightmare, you can ground yourself, you can think more clearly, you can calm your heart rate and your body down, and you can assess, I'm safe, I'm okay, and now you can think about something else because you've cut the pathway of that one memory or that one thought. And the same is true with anger. If you're upset at somebody, if somebody's pissing you off and you need to calm down, why do you think we just go, I just need to take a breather. I just need to calm down. I just need to, this is built in us from the time that we're born throughout multiple cultures. And so that is one way to really help calm yourself down from anxiety, to get a grip on reality, and just to tell yourself, I'm okay. I'm here. I'm present. Now, what can I do to move forward? So that's the first thing that I usually do. The next thing I kind of talked about was the grounding, because usually when we're in a panic or we're stressed, we don't realize it, but we actually lose a little bit of reality. We start getting into our head. We start thinking forward into the future of what ifs. We start thinking of the past. Okay, the word why is past thinking, and the word what if is future thinking. What if this happened? Now, I could have done this, or things like that. That's past, of course. But what if he thinks of me this way? What if he thinks of me that way? Or what if the bank doesn't believe me? Those are all future thoughts. And we can't deal with the past, and we can't deal with the present. I actually had a client and I stole it from him. I said I would, so I have permission. He says there's 2 days in your life that you can never control: yesterday and tomorrow. And I don't know if he got that from somebody else, so I'm sorry if somebody else said it. But I just thought that was so profound. And so if we are constantly in crisis mode because of the past or the future, now don't get me wrong, I think there's consequences, I think there's forward planning, all of that. This is more, what I'm saying is more of calming ourselves down so that we can handle the past and we can handle the future. It's not me saying let's ignore it. But those are two things that we cannot control. But we are in the present and we can make choices of what we're doing right now in the present. We can choose to breathe. We can choose to get angry. We can choose to forget. By calming down, we're giving ourselves the freedom to choose how we're going to respond. And in choosing our response, we're choosing freedom in the situation. So grounding is another way, and I start off with the 5 senses for grounding, which I gave you a little sneak peek. So one gentleman that I counsel gets dizzy all the time. He has memory issues. He was severely beaten. Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to go into his story, but it was bad, guys. It was bad. And now his body's on sensory overload. Like, his body gets prickly all the time. It's not just pain like in the bones and in the muscle. Like, his body literally does not know if he's in pain or if he's not in pain because of the severity of what happened to him. But after he got to the United States and started feeling safe again, let me pick a different color. Let's go with F, because I could easily see that. 741. There we go. So, and he has severe short-term memory issues right now, which he hadn't before. So these just came up. His brain is starting to try to heal and doesn't know how to. And it's freaking him out. So he gets dizzy a lot. And so one of the things we talked about is when he calls it the lift. It's the elevator. When he comes out of the lift for doctor's appointments, or if he stands up too quickly or has to sit down and he's feeling dizzy, we talked about grounding. So he's going to sit down, and he said his favorite color is white. So we're going to use vision for him on grounding himself. And so his homework is to, when he feels dizzy, to find a seat and to start gently looking around the room or at the floor or wherever he feels comfortable. He can just move his eyes if he needs to. And he's going to look for items that are white and just tell himself mentally what they are. Ceiling tiles, the lamp, the chair, the coat on the woman on the magazine. And by doing that, again, your brain cannot do two things at once. And so it's going to slow the racingness of his mind, and it's going to allow the dizziness to subside. Now, this will work with his dizzy spells because they have to do with something else than just equilibrium. So I'm not saying this is going to get rid of anyone who has a dizzy spell. But like if one of my clients, she wakes up in the middle of the night in a nightmare and she thinks she is back in the Congo. And so she grounds herself by, okay, let's go through the 5 senses as she's laying in bed. First of all, I see my bedroom. I see the doors closed, so nobody's there. I see that I have water next to me. I see what the time is. Next, what do I feel? I feel that I'm warm under my blanket. I feel that the blanket is soft. I feel that there's a bed under me. I feel the blowing of my hair as the fan, oscillates. What do I hear? I hear the crickets outside, or I hear the fan motor, or I hear talking or no talking. I hear silence. Okay, what do I smell? I smell that my room is musty, or I smell that, the candle that I blew out before bed. I smell, you know, the smell of the dryer sheets because I have new sheets on my bed. Taste. A lot of times I'll, you know, recommend to sit up in bed and have a sip of water, or walk to the kitchen and get a cup of tea and focus on how the tea tastes. So just going through those 5 senses grounds her that I'm here presently in April 2019 in the United States. I am not back in the Congo. I am, you know, do not have the fear of an attack from a different tribe, you know, just different things like that. So how does that relate to now with like somebody like myself with grounding? You know, some of the things that I do is if I'm running late to pick up my daughter from band practice and I'm getting every red light and I've had a long day and I just feel the anxiety building up, you know, maybe I'll put on my favorite song through my car stereo, and I'll focus on the words and hearing them and feeling the warmth of the sun. And so instead of focusing on every red light that I'm catching, I'm focusing on something else. You know, it's how you choose to use the resources that you're given to help yourself combat life stress and crisis. And this week it's been crazy. It has been crazy. And you know, my life, I'm in my 30s, and so in my family as a whole, I have experienced, you know, family members with cancer, family members who have died, family members who have been in prison, family members with felonies, infidelity, dishonesty, bankruptcy, miscarriages, abortions, drug abuse, physical and verbal abuse, and the list goes on and on and on in the last 10 to 12 years. And I'm not talking extended family. I'm talking about, like, you know, within this little, you know, your family that you go and see for birthdays and Christmases, and family that you talk to all the time. And it just, the list keeps going on, and I feel like I can't ever get a breath. Like, every time I turn around, I'm getting hit in the face with something else, and I have nothing else to give. I'm at the end of my rope, and I thought I was at the end of my rope a year ago, and then crap hit the fan again, and it's like it's never ending. And so I have to continue to ground myself and choose, like, how do I want to live my life? How do I want to press and move forward? You know, do I want to choose, you know, to dwell on it, or do I want to choose that I'm in control? Now, granted, I'm not saying this stuff doesn't take me down or shouldn't take someone down. But if I don't ground myself and I don't tell myself that I, Jennifer, am okay, I am in control of myself, I'm never going to make it. And the world is going to swallow me whole, and it's not going to care. And I refuse to live my life that way. Yes, I will cry. I will get angry. I will go through all of the normal emotions, and I will have crappy days, and I will have, you know, anger and maybe hatred and rage and sadness, and, you know, just, I'll have that. And that's okay. Those feelings are real. They're part of us. They're part of what makes us human. But I refuse to let those feelings control me. I refuse for them to take over my life. I always need to be in control of them. So at the end of the day, when I'm done, you know, raging or crying or, you binge watching Netflix and not talking to anybody because I'm just depressed, or sleeping all day, or diamond painting 24/7 to try to stay sane. I'm going to say I'm the one choosing to act that way. I'm the one that's going to be in control of how my feelings come out. I may not be in control of how I feel sometimes, but I'm going to be in control of how these feelings are exhibited and how I work through them. And I'm not perfect, but I hope this gives you a little glimmer of how your body works, how your mind works. Some of my opinion is mixed in there. Obviously, it's my opinion. You're welcome to do what you need to do. But that's my little thought for the day, to kind of share a therapy thought of, so deep breathing, the 10-second breath. You breathe in, count to 4. As you're breathing in, you hold it for, up to 2 seconds, and then you breathe out. I dare you to try it for 2 minutes, and close your eyes if you feel comfortable doing it. If you don't close your eyes, just stare at one spot in the room, because if you look around, again, you're distracting your brain, and you don't want to do that. You want your brain just to stay focused on the breathing. And do it for 2 to 5 minutes, and then leave a comment down below and let me know what you thought of it. And if you think it's something that will help you, if you think it's something that you can share with others, I'd love to hear your feedback on did it or did it not work for you. It's not a miracle breathing method. It's just meant to calm down for clarity of thought and for gaining back control. And so, yeah. Let's see, what else can I talk about? So that's my little therapy update. From time to time, I'll try to do more of them for you. I have plenty of tools in my toolbox that I can share, but those grounding and breathing are two that I do a lot with my clients. That's easy to teach. Let's see here. My daughter started soccer again this week, so I thought I had a week off. I know we had spring break off, but I thought I had one more week. I thought next week started soccer. So I've been a little off kilter all week. I'm glad it's the weekend. She had a game this morning. She didn't have a great game herself, and so that was hard to watch. But she powered through it, and they finished. They didn't win, though, but that's okay. I'm not about winning or losing, but it's frustrating because half the team, it's a traveling soccer team, and half the team wants to win. Like, they've paid the money, they're there for the training, they're there to learn, they're like, want to go eventually and play in college, different things like that, and the other girls are there just for fun. Now, granted, it should be for fun, but if it's just for fun, you need to go play on a different team, because this team is supposed to be, the reason you pay the money is because you're in, like, hardcore training, and it's just frustrating. My daughter's really frustrated too at it. And so we have a lot of conversations about her ownership and, leaving it, if she left it out on the field and she did her best, and how can she learn from, she's the goalie, how can she learn from every goal scored? And today she has trouble with inconsistency. When she's on and she's in her, like, goalie zone, nothing gets by her. Like, she is a wall. And you can tell. I mean, she feels good about it. She's in the zone. And today I could tell during warm-up she was not in the zone. She was butterfingers. And so the first half, bless her heart, everything that was being shot. I think she had like a 50-50 where she stopped, 50% and 50% went in. And our girls were struggling to get any offense going. And so it ended up being a scoreless game on our side. And the coach took her out and put somebody else in, and my daughter's first string goalie. And so it's really hard for her when that happens and she has to sit on the bench for, half a game. And so at the end, at this point, I encourage her, but I also want to say, did you leave it out all on the field? Well, Mom, the ref, and I was like, I said, no excuses. Did you have a bad game or not? And it's okay if you had a bad game, but no excuses. Admit it. Admit that, I wasn't on my game, or I was butterfingers, or, I need to work on this and this next time. And that's okay. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but you have to own the fact that you realize that you weren't on your game. And if that's the best you could have done today because you weren't on your game, that's okay. But admit that it wasn't the best you've ever done and move forward. So we had teachable moments and different things like that. And I am not asking her to be perfect. She's the one that wants to be in this league, not me. She wants to play soccer in college. Every season I ask her, she still wants to go. She's working her heart out. This is her choice. So, yeah, we shall see. We shall see what this spring brings. We have 2 tournaments coming up. So those 2 tournament weekends in May, I for sure will not be doing my appetizer. So I'm sorry, I'll miss you guys. I'll try to do a live another time during the week, or try to give you an extra drill with me. Alright, let's see, 740. This is one I haven't used. Yeah, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I wanted to try to get this done right away, and I still have to do a post review on Little Bite from DAC, and so I have my extra drills here, and until I do the post review, I don't want to put the drills away. I also have another kit that I've done, but I'm waiting on drills because they shorted me a bag. But I don't want to do a post video without that. And then I have 2 diamond paintings already kitted up. I'm working on a London one. That's one I worked on in Arkansas, and so that's taking 2 of my Harbor Freight containers. And then I have 2 Harbor Freight containers being used for bad drills for Huacan, but I'm switching them out. So that's 6 Harbor Freight. I just did not feel like, I have more that are empty, but I didn't feel like kitting up. So I have so many trays, guys. I mean, this is not even half of my trays. I have like literally 50 trays. So I figured, this way, I just have the colors, I do a bunch, and then, yeah. So, I need to get, I was drooling over Mrs. Coffee's find with the diamond painting accessories. And so there's 2 things on my list that I'm saving up for. Number 1, the little accessory that she has that you put your trays in. So they stay kind of like I have them here. And number 2 is a stand with a light, so I have better lighting. So I'm hoping that I get a little bit back from the advertising of YouTube for the month of April, and then I can put that money back into the channel. So I used the money from March, which was the first month I had ads. I used that money to buy a couple special diamond kits, and I don't get a lot of money. It's very small, but I bought a couple special diamond kits to show you guys, and so yeah, that's what I did for that. So yeah, my goal is whatever I get from the ads of my channel or from Super Chat, except when I say, you know, like the Diamond Paint Along, I donated, you know, to a charity. My goal is to put it back into the channel for you guys and be the best that I can be and not let you down. And some of that is, you know, so your experience is better. I know sometimes when I do my lives, because I don't have the chance to turn the volume up in the editing, you can't hear me. So if I can get a new, like, type of tripod that I can get closer, but yet still give you an overview look of what I'm doing, then I can have the camera or the phone closer to me. I'm not a big fan of the microphone thing because I will get all tangled up in it. And so I am in awe of Fruitini and her setup. She's got an amazing setup. And I know Donnie has a great setup with the microphone. And I don't know what other people use. Because a lot of times we don't see what's behind the scenes, right? You don't see the phone or the camera that's being used. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for April's, if I get the views that I need. Yeah. So that's where I'm at now. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, I wanted to give you an update. I have the light pad under here that is sliced. I don't dare use it. I have it off, but I wanted to like set it up to see how I liked working on top of it, you know, pressing down on it. So I'm kind of scared to use it. Actually, I probably should unplug it because it is sliced. I sent, right when I unboxed it, I sent immediately a message to the company and said, hey, you know, I received this. I sent a picture of it being where it's sliced. I said I can't use it because the wire's broken and I don't want to electrocute myself. And they never answered. So 2 days later, I sent them a message saying, and this was not on the weekend, this was during the week, because I do give them the benefit of the doubt if they take the weekend off. Sometimes the smaller stores don't work on the weekends. And so I messaged them again and said, you know, is anybody planning on answering me back? And I got this really weird message. I think it was just like a cut and paste. It was bad English. It didn't even have to do with my question at all. And so I answered back and said, I don't understand. That has nothing to do with my original question. I said, please answer me back. I don't want to open a dispute. I want this, you know, I really want to resolve this with you personally. Still no answer. So then Friday, so day 4, since I communicated, I messaged them and said, if I don't hear back from you by tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to enter a dispute. And I really don't want to, but I cannot use this light pad and I don't have the money, you know, to just spend on a broken light pad. So I woke up this morning and I had no message from them. So I ended up having to put a dispute in And I hate doing that. And, you know, explaining and sending photos in and saying I tried to contact them multiple times. I'm not hearing anything back. Please help. So that's the update on the light pad. Now, just make sure I have the right with my migraine. I am not remembering anything. So I'm sorry if I'm babbling. Hopefully this one will get posted. Who knows? So, with my abstract trees, that I was shorted, and I was shorted drills, and the canvas was puckered. And there's a difference between a pucker and a river. A pucker is when the canvas underneath has been like bent, and then they put the flat glue over it. So it actually ends up creating a valley with flat glue over it. So if you slice it and pull it apart, there's going to be either 1 or 2 rows with no glue, depending on how big the pucker was. Now, some people have been able to stretch the canvas enough to push the glue down, because it stretches the glue enough. Now, the glue is going to be thinner in that area, but that's okay because we're just looking for it to stick. You know, I know a couple other people have recommended great ideas from that video, and I will look into trying them. But the long story short is I'll deal with rivers, because rivers are where the glue buckles up, not the canvas. And so when you slice, you're getting rid of the air bubble, and you can push the glue down on top of each other and you're fine. But yeah, this was horrible. But it's only in one spot. I emailed them or messaged them, and they messaged me back and said, just put heavy books on it. A lot of like what Ella's video showed a little bit back when she had a situation. And I literally had sent them, I would like a replacement or a refund, and it is a pucker. I cannot fix a pucker. I have done dozens and dozens, if not 100 diamond paintings, and I know that I cannot fix this. And so please send the extra 2 packs of drills I'm shorted, as well as a new canvas. They answered me back and said, it'll be fine, just put heavy books on it. So I answered them back and said, no, it will not work, as you can see in the picture, da 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 da. And they said, oh no, it'll be fine, just put heavy books on it. So I answered back and I said, okay, that's the second time you've disregarded me, and I'm telling you it's not working, so I'm going to have to put in a dispute because you're not even working with me. So I put in a dispute, and I even said in my message to them, I said, I'm going to put in a dispute, and in the dispute you can answer back, because they have the option to counter the dispute of how they're going to fix it, so that AliExpress can like delay the dispute while things are being arranged. And so I said, you know, in the dispute, just counter with, you know, you're going to send a new canvas. And so I put a dispute in, and immediately, now this didn't happen with the light pad, I don't think they care, but immediately this company said, why did you put in a dispute? We never said we wouldn't help you. And I answered back and I said, well, just counter offer that you're going to send a new canvas, and I'll wait for it, and then I'll remove the dispute once I have a new canvas. After I said that, I never heard from them again, and within 24 hours, I had my money back. Now, I know that I can stretch the canvas or use your suggestions, or worst case scenario, use some, you know, aqua glue or something for that area so that I can actually do the canvas. But so I'm thankful it wasn't a total loss, and I did get my money back, and it was a more expensive canvas, but now that's 2 disputes that I've had to put in a week's time. And I'm like, I hate doing disputes. I don't do disputes. I think I've done 5 total now in a year and a half, and I've only done them because one person technically stole money from me. They were supposed to change the cost, and I was learning how to use AliExpress, and they ended up not changing the cost, and I paid not realizing that, and so then I disputed to get my money back, and I had all the records that they said that they would change the cost and all this kind of stuff. It was one of those that they said, buy another diamond painting, we'll give it to you for a penny, so we can then send the missing drills of the first diamond painting. And it was back when I was first starting, and I think I have a video of it. And I was like, all right, like, I'll pick out another painting and gladly have a painting for 1 cent on your site. So I went and I picked out a painting that I really wanted for a long time at that point. But they were charging $30, and there's no way I was going to pay $30 for it. And so I was like, oh, I'll pick this one, and then I'll get it for a penny. And they ended up not changing it, but I didn't realize you had to go through certain steps, and then they'd change it, and then you would pay. And so I wrote in the notes, hey, please cancel this order. I noticed that, you know, I did it wrong. And he's like, all right, we will change it before we send it out. And they never did. And so, yeah. But I want to show you the canvas they sent me. Let me see if I can. So they sent me the replacement drills. And I feel like I will never buy from this store ever again. They were a nightmare with customer service. Their product was horrible. And then they sent this before they even refunded me. So it's not like they sent me this canvas thinking it was free. Not that that would have been right either. But, is this it? Yeah. All right. Let me move these out of the way because I can just see myself bumping them. But I thought you would get a kick out of this canvas. So this is, they thought I was going to be paying $30 for this at the time. It's not like they thought it was free. This was I'm sorry canvas so that they could send me the drills of the first canvas. So look at the back, right? These are not wrinkles. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, they're endless, the puckers, okay? And then, let me open it for you. And it's so bad, guys. I keep trying to say, oh, I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to try to fix it and try to do it because I really like the photo. But it's so bad. Yeah, you can just see it. Those are all puckers, guys. That's not just wrinkles. So, yeah, it's horrible. And I'm so cheap, I haven't thrown it out. And then on the spots that aren't puckers, it's actually the glue is coming away from the canvas. But yeah, that's, you can see this, I mean, these are all puckers all over the place. They wanted me $30 for this. OMG. So, I mean, it's a beautiful image itself. I love daisies. They're my favorite flower. But yeah, those are puckers down there. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And every time I think it's not bad, and I mean it's going to be okay, I'll pull it out, I'll work through it, I'll push through it. Then I open it and I'm like, never mind, because diamond painting's not supposed to be stressful. So, all that to say, I've still kept it in case I feel like I want to resurrect it. But it's from Yikee Diamond Embroidery. Yikee. And I've heard multiple times now that they continue to give out subpar quality. So, all that to say, I just wanted to, you know, side note, right? Squirrel. And I gotta put these back so I don't knock them over on my craft table. Okay. And this one. So I hope I'm doing okay with my headache. I think I am. I think I'm not forgetting things. So yeah, that's kind of the update on the 2 disputes, what I'm working on. I did order from Diamond Art Club. I ordered 3 things. 2 of them, let me see here. Let me see if I can open on my computer. Whoop. I need my computer right here on my desk because I'm charging my phone while you guys are watching. Otherwise, my phone would have died. And my computer's super slow. So we'll see. I got the Mother Knows one. And I saw it on Diamond Art Club a couple times, so I don't think it's considered new, but it kind of was new. I don't know if they just posted it as they were trying to get a couple in. Let me see here. Okay, let me get to it. I have to get to the link real quick because yeah, so I got Mama Knows Best. And at the time I ordered, Lover's Stroll said it was out of stock, even though it wasn't. And I got The Tower by Claudia McKinney. And I'll share the story as to why I got that when I open it. So yeah. But then, let me sign in. I have a couple in my cart, but I really want Frog Princess. Oops, I didn't put the password in. And so I asked them the other night when that would be released, if that was one that had come back in. And they said they were still going through the inventory of the stock that was coming in. So, yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. The ones I want that I'm waiting for is the Frog Princess, and then I want Pharaohphilia, and I want Gaia. So those are kind of ones that I'm waiting for. I do have Wonderland by Manny Mazzano, but it was before I knew about Diamond Art Club, and I bought it from another store. And so I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I want to do it or not, so I'm still going back and forth. But yeah. But in May 7th release, they have 2 I really want. And I can talk about those later. But I'm really excited for that one. So I had saved up $300 to spend on this release. And I ended up only spending, you know, on 3 diamond paintings. So the rest of the money I'm saving for the May 7th release so I can buy the other ones I want. And then they said they had another release a couple weeks after that, as they keep trickling in. So yeah. And then I have special diamonds order coming in to show you guys. I don't know when it's going to be coming in, but we will see. So yeah, a lot going on, right? Well, I'm going to let you guys go. And I want to thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for listening to my drill with me. And if you liked this video, as always, please hit the thumbs up button down below. If there's anything you want me to comment on, if there's something therapeutic you want me to focus on, you can comment below. Maybe in the upcoming therapy session video, I can address that issue with you. It's up to you. So yeah, I welcome your feedback and I look forward to chatting with you later. Until next time, be blessed.